Ahmose sits alone on a stone pillar within the royal garden. Around him are his mother, Queen Ahotep, and a small battalion of guards. He holds up a worn piece of linen upon which strange markings have been made. "I found this with the dagger," he says. "It looks like an ancient text." Queen Ahotep walks closer, studying the hieroglyphs. "This scroll belonged to your grandfather, Amenhotep III, she says softly. "But how did it get here? How did it get wrapped around my husband's dagger?" The king looks at his son, his expression unreadable. "You should show this to General Yuya," he says finally. "He knows all things about the old days." Later that day, after greeting General Yuya and his fellow council members, Ahmose presents the scroll. But when he does, the general gasps. "What is that?" the king demands. Yuya takes a deep breath, calming himself. "My king, this is a dangerous thing to have lying around," he says cautiously. "We should destroy it at once." Ahmose and the queen are deeply disturbed by this reaction. So that night, after the king is asleep, Ahmose sneaks back into the council chambers. "There has to be something on this scroll," he mutters to himself. He unrolls the linen, and the room seems to grow colder. The candle flame flickers. He can just make out the faded hieroglyphs, the words of a long-lost prophecy. "He who follows the sun shall cast down false kings. The stars will mark his rise. The serpent shall guide his blade." Ahmose feels a shiver run down his spine. He knows not what the prophecy means, but he senses that it is his destiny to find out. Then suddenly a floorboard creaks. Ahmose whirls around, drawing his ceremonial dagger. "Who's there?" he demands. No reply. Then, from the shadows, a woman steps forward. Startled, Ahmose lowers his weapon slightly. It's one of the queen's handmaidens. "Is everything all right, Prince Ahmose?" she asks nervously. "I heard footsteps and called out, but you didn't answer." "Oh, I'm sorry," he says, embarrassed. "I didn't hear you enter. I just found this scroll and wanted to hide it away." "With respect, Prince," the handmaiden says, "it would be safer if you showed this to my lady. She will know what to do with it." Ahmose realizes she is right. So together they leave the scroll where it was and go to find the queen. When they arrive at her chambers, however, she is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the entire palace seems strangely deserted. Ahmose and the handmaiden look out a window. In the courtyard below, they see soldiers readying their weapons and armor. He calls out, but they don't even acknowledge him. "Mother," he says urgently, "what is going on?" The only response is a heavy thud. He runs to the door and bursts through it. There, he sees his mother standing before a closed stone door. And when he looks closely, he sees that same strange symbol that was on the scroll carved into the doorframe. "Mother, what is this place?" he asks. "And why did those soldiers just march through it without opening it? How did they pass through the wall?" Queen Ahotep turns slowly. Her eyes are filled with fear. "There is no time to explain," she whispers. "I need you to go now. Go while you still can." "But mother," he protests, "what am I supposed to do? What does the prophecy mean? Why did you send for me?" She steps closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. "The prophecy, it speaks of a danger that comes from the north," she says urgently. "A danger unlike any other Egypt has ever known. You are the only hope to save Egypt, my son. But you must be strong. You must understand what is at stake." "But I'm just a boy," he says, tears welling in his eyes. "I don't want to be king." "You don't have to be king," she replies, wiping away his tears. "You just have to be you. Now go. Please, please be safe." As she embraces him, he notices another detail in the room. Above them is a mural depicting the goddess Hathor, who symbolizes the moon. But next to her is a smaller carving of a snake with its fangs bared. It seems menacing, yet somehow also wise. Just then, a loud crash echoes through the palace, followed by screams. "They found me!" his mother cries. "Go, Ahmose, go now!" Without another word, he flees the palace. As the sun rises over the horizon, Ahmose wakes up and finds himself deep within a tunnel beneath the palace grounds. He doesn't remember coming here, nor does he remember entering the tunnel. But as he gets to his feet, he notices the walls are covered with ancient hieroglyphs detailing wars, famines, droughts, and unity. Each image is accompanied by the likeness of a snake, either coiling around a scepter or rearing up alongside a human warrior. Then, ahead of him, the passage opens into a large chamber. Within it is a pedestal made of polished black granite, and atop it is a single sword, the hilt shaped like the head of a deadly asp. As he approaches, he sees his reflection in its polished surface. Gone is the pampered prince in fine clothes. In his place stands a dirty, frightened boy in rags. Still, something compels Ahmose toward the sword. He reaches out to touch it, and the moment his fingers brush against the cold metal, the air shimmers. He jumps back, startled as the sword begins to glow brightly. When the light fades, the sword is gone. In its place, a small clay jar rests on the pedestal. Curiosity overcomes his fear, and he picks up the jar. Unscrewing the lid, he finds that it's empty. Then he hears a voice behind him. So, the boy of Thebes awakens. Turning, he finds a tall, regal woman standing in the entrance of the passage. Her eyes are sharp and intelligent. Her gaze pierces him like a physical blow. "Who are you?" he stammers. The woman steps into the chamber, her eyes never leaving his. "You may call me Ma'at," she says softly. "I am the embodiment of truth, and the serpent is my servant." She takes a step closer. "Now you must choose, young prince. Will you wield the serpent's fang or cast it aside?" The answer to Episode 1 is mystery. The serpent in the prophecy refers to a secret Egyptian resistance group sworn to protect the bloodline of true pharaohs. The stars were a Hyksos signal, and the missing guard, Bakari, was taken by them. Mystery for Episode 2. Who is the woman who calls herself Ma'at? And why is the sword called the serpent's fang?